All right, so we just finished with the viewing. Italian woman. She's kind of no nonsense. But it's going to be a pass for me because there's 6 units. It's 3 stories, 2 sides. I'm in the cemetery across the street from the place. It is not 750 square feet. It's stretching maybe 400. Only 2 windows, 2 different window seals actually. So not one window seal like I have now with 2 windows. It's 2 window seals with 2 windows that open up all the way. The sun would set in the west, which means I would get sun at the end of the day, not ever in the morning. There would be, light from the windows, but no sunshine. No sunshine ever because I'm on the bottom. The windows look out directly to the backyard, which you'd see in the video. I'm the only one who's not allowed outside access. The 2 upstairs units, well, the 2 up from me and then the 2 up from them have balconies, and they all had backyard access, but she cut that off and doesn't allow anybody backyard anymore except one of the long-term tenants that has been there for I don't know, she said 15, 20 years or something. She's the only one that's still allowed to have backyard access because it turns into a problem when you share outside. So I get the smallest apartment and I don't get outside. That can't happen. Because it's less sunlight than what I actually have now because I face the south. But that's okay. And I looked everywhere. I saw water damage underneath the sinks. I'm walking barefoot in the grass. I'm grounding myself. I haven't been able, and they just freshly cut the grass at the cemetery. I haven't been able to walk in grass since I worked upstate in Mount Kisco. And I used to walk around out there. Then the hiking area, I forgot where it was, but it's by the park out there. It's the Metro North Blue Line, and you get off at Mount Kisco, and there's this little old place with gazebos, and it's in the forest. And I went there for my birthday one year. Actually, that was 2020. So the last time I got to walk on grass, no, that's not true. 3 years ago, I was in Central Park, and and I walked on the grass. So it's been 3 years since I've been able to walk on grass or walk barefoot. And you can't even walk barefoot on the beach. Are you kidding me? With the syringes and the dirty diapers, people have no couth. I have what they call exhaustion. Because I'm tired. Woo! That was a little bit of a hole. I wanted to come over and look and I have my bags are laying over there somewhere. But in all honesty, there's some kids over down there piddle farting around. I'm sure people are visiting. The woman, Virginia, that I met with her daughter and grandson that I hung out with, she told me there's a park. Actually, I'm going to be friends with Virginia, even though she's 86 and her daughter and I are age mates. The mother and I have more in common, but the mother I can tell has slight dementia. She couldn't remember my name. She kept asking over and over, and then she forgot her own address and things like that. And when I opened her phone to help her, I saw that there was a post-it with information. So when I came and met the grandson, I said, does she have a little dementia? And he's like, yeah, she's kind of... And I said, okay. So, I mean, that doesn't bother me. And she said, I keep forgetting your name. And I said, all you have to remember, because they're Spanish, and their house had Jesus everywhere. I said, all you have to remember is Christ. My name is Christina. That's it, see? And it was divine intervention because she was not going to go for a walk. And she ended up, because it's such a nice day, it's nice enough that I can wear this. She ended up going for a walk in a different direction with her dog, Bella. And we that's divine intervention. We met each other, and then she invited me to her home, and I got to meet her family, and they told me about the area, and they told me about the building and some other things. So I just don't, I understand, yeah, it's a clean area. It's quiet aside from, I mean, it is New York City, so you're going to hear the plane. Does everybody see this Matrix plane? You're going to hear that. Ambulances, but they told me there's a noise ordinance that's taken seriously because there's senior homes around and there's a lot of hospitals around and things like that. So they take that seriously, and it's not only on like holidays and things like that does it get a little noisy. So I'm just gonna, how pretty, right? How pretty. But I'm gonna call the other, the realtor, the real estate agency called me and said, hey, did he get a hold of you? And I'm like, oh, I want to say yes, but I've talked to so many people that I can't find that information at the moment. So they gave me a number to call, and then because that's the castle in Riverdale. And I told Horace, I said, don't worry, everything I'm checking is under the 2,700, and I'm trying to get as low as I can. But Kevin told me, you have the money, go for the gusto, utilize all of that and get as much as you can. And he's right. When I told him and showed him the apartment for here, he was like, why would you go from she said, what are you coming from? And I said, a studio, but I have to shimmy like it's a very small studio. And I said, and honestly, I need to be in a cleaner area because I developed a health condition and a safe area. And so, Virginia and her daughter were telling me about, oh yeah, they're being respectful. They're paying their respects. Let me come back this way. Let me let them do their thing. That's idolization to me. I don't do that. My mom's dead. Her ashes are sitting on my sister's fireplace mantle. I'm one that just talks to Christ and meditates and talks to my mother from here. I don't need to go anywhere to talk to my mother. Tell her that I love her. This is great. I'm gonna go wherever my bags are. I don't know where I put my stuff. Jesus, look at Catholic Jesus. Where are my bags? Oh, up there. Okay, so that's that. Viewing number 4, probably later this week. You know what's nice? Look at this. Nope. Yeah. So, viewing number 4 will be probably later this week. I don't have one set up. I'm getting some set up because a bunch came open in Riverdale, Kingsbridge, Fieldston, which is a very high Jewish population, and that's where I prefer to be. But it's nice. And then my representative for the voucher, he's going to all the viewings with me. He actually lives not far from here, he said. And he said, yeah, it's really quiet. It's clean most of the part. Obviously, there's always going to be something. It is New York City, and allegedly there's fucking multi-million people living here. I don't know where they are. Because what you see in a movie with all the people is what you see in a movie. That's only true in real life. That crowd is only true at Times Square. You're always going to have to walk around people, but congested like that, that's only true in the high tourist area. Times Square is like that. Sometimes Columbus has a lot of people, but because Central Park's around there, it's not so bad. Where the circle is, like Trump Tower, it's not so bad. It's not congested and crowded like that, like Times Square, which is literally right down the street from it. Probably, what's that memorial? The September 11th memorial that they spent all that bajillions of dollars to build and then shut down because they couldn't afford to run it anymore. I went down there once and there was nobody. But it was a bunch of fucking water running in this fountain that was so big it took up the whole goddamn fucking vicinity, okay? It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. This is bullshit. There's so much fucking outside. And then there's no smoking in the building, but there's no place for me to sit outside and fucking smoke. So, not cigarettes. So I don't, and then when Kevin comes, there's no place for him to sit because he smokes cigarettes. And I can't let him smoke in the house because the fucking ceilings are so tiny. Yeah, it's gonna be a no for me on this one. I did get the application, obviously, but I could tell she knew I wasn't gonna take it because when we shook hands when we were leaving, she shook hands. She said, "Good luck to you." So, yeah, she just wasn't. I mean, you know, sometimes you just meet somebody and you vibe like instantly. When I ran into Virginia on the street, like that, we clicked. And then when I met her family, I find out that all her family, her children, everybody's in the military, everybody's law enforcement in the military. I said, no, this is divine intervention. My ex-husband's a major. I was a federal police officer. I'm generational military. This is divine intervention. This is God introducing me to you. And then Virginia was telling me all her friends have passed, so she doesn't have any friends anymore. And I'm like, I don't have friends either. I know Kevin, and I know one other person, and that's nobody's business. No, I'm just kidding. I know 2 people here that I sometimes hang out with, but Kevin moved upstate, so it's only when he's around. Like, he'll be here on Wednesday. When he's got appointments in the Bronx, he comes down, and then we hang out. Sometimes he stays overnight, takes the bus back. But this is a really pretty, it's not as nice as Woodlawn. It's not as nice as a Woodlawn ceremony, but, oh, someone's calling me. Okay.